for dinner? Pizza?
She's got barbecue and stuff.
Thank you. Ooh, thank you. It's not Jeff Kincaid, but. Oh, Jeff's making bank, man. He's doing really well.
I did turn.
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need an approval of tonight's agenda and minutes of the May 16th and June 4th, 2024 meetings.
Move we approve the agenda and the minutes of the May 16th and June 4th meetings.
I've got a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. We will now go to executive session for legal consultation of the purpose of discussing issues as outlined in Arkansas Code 613-619.
Very fast on my computer.
Where is it? I'll look at it. Because no one's got it together.
Okay, it's in the room where we want to look at watching. Yes. He got nervous. My husband got nervous. I know, it was doing that the other day. There you go. Thank you.
Right. Back from executive session, Mr. Rose, academic report.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
Just going to talk about a few numbers real quick here, and then we've got a special guest we're going to recognize right after that we're excited about. You know, each year, and we've looked at this throughout the year, this is going to sum up some of the end-of-year results from our DIVLS early literacy skills assessments throughout the year. So it's going to show you some comparisons, and you guys know what these are, but it's those little fluency measures that the teachers work with the kids, kind of test those early literacy skills throughout the year. Get the next slide. This is some of the things you see measured from kindergarten to second. Some of them, like you see with the asterisk, they fall off at second grade, and then you pick up the one at the bottom, the maze, where they learn the comprehension piece when they're reading new words. So this is just some DOI versus end of year data. See great progress there. Look at kindergarten. It's a substantial amount of students that move from below or well below to the green and blue. That's pretty impressive. You see throughout the progression there, K1, 2, good growth all the way through. And just sum up a couple highlights. 78% is what kindergarten finished with. It's roughly 200 students that was at or above grade level. First grade, 18%, and had a decrease of 18% in the below grade level, which is over 50 students moved above, which is a big group. And then second grade, like I said, it just keeps getting harder and harder as they go up with comprehension and the rigor. But they had a nice jump of 15% in that level. And then it specifically 20% at the bottom end out of the red into the yellow. So that was a big move to start moving over the kids. We look at growth at every level, I'm kind of saying, not just the upper end or whatever. How we move the kids. So we focus on that a lot. All right. And then, you know, DIVLS, we do utilize that all the way up through sixth grade. And these are just, I didn't pull up graphs for those, but those are pretty accurate as far as in terms of what we've seen in the past years, and in comparison, very, very similar from year after year when I look back at the previous 3 years of data. So I'm just giving you some highlights there on third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. One of the big growers was sixth grade, which was not quite the same as it has been in the past, so they had a big increase there. So kudos to that group. So 7% in the upper end of the group.
Tough grade.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to see that, and that was the only thing that kind of fell off the normal path from years past. They increased more than normal at that grade level. The other ones were pretty similar to what they've done. All right. You know, we pull a lot of data. We're data rich, and we're taking that and making plans on what we're doing the next steps, and that's how we're going to move kids and how we are moving them currently. These are just some things as we roll into next year that we'll be working on. You know, we do the transition meetings at each grade level. Each kid in our whole district has a student success plan that tracks them, talks about their scores, what interventions has been done. When interventionists work with those students, they put that data in there specifically. How much time they're getting in minutes and times a week, the dosage, kind of things like that. Also, we've applied for a HIT grant for next year, the one we did receive this past spring, and was very pleased with the work we got out of that and the companies we partnered with, and that went really well. We're trying to work with most of those again for this next year, so we should find out here in a couple weeks if we're going to get into the HIT grant again for this upcoming year. Hopefully we will. We feel good about it, and we'll get to use it for the whole year now instead of just about 2 months is what we finally got this past year. One of the other things I was talking about in the last couple of weeks in our leadership groups, at number 4 there, begin RTI earlier in the school year. In the past, a lot of times we do wait on a lot of the beginning of year data. I've talked to Ms. Lawrence, and I've talked to Ms. Goodwin and some of those on the K-5 end. And, you know, we're not going to wait around for the BOY data. We're going to start with the end of year data from this current year off our maps and that kind of thing. We will not have the state assessment data, obviously, back to look at before school starts. It'll be at least probably just do it middle of the year or later, probably.
October,
So,
maybe?
Maybe
Yeah.
October, but fingers crossed. So we obviously can't wait that long. We're gonna hit the ground running and jump on it quickly with that. And then the last one thing we talked about also in the spring with our partner solution tree, Ms. Feltner, when she was visiting, we did a lot of work and talking to teachers and staff about increasing our reading time, and not just reading in general, but grade level reading, making sure the kids are getting exposed to grade level reading during the class times, and really push that. So that's another way. And then the last piece I was going to show, I got a little info from our summer school. Our high school does a great job with offering an opportunity for students to make a full credit or 2 half credits through they have 2 or 3 teachers, 2, 3, and offer some online courses up there and bring students in. You see we had about 47, Mr. Morse got me this here the other day, 47 students participated in the credit recovery, and we had 33 students receive 1 full credit and 12 picked up half credit. So pretty successful, helping some kids bridge some gaps there. Another good summer. Good last year, another good one this year. All right.
Good work.
Questions on that? Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chairperson, may I address the board, please? I'm not on the agenda, but I
No, sir.
traveled a long way to.
I'm sorry, we cannot take any outside. We have to follow the agenda. You can email us.
Is that in your file?
Yes, sir, it is. It
Can
is.
you quote that for me, please?
I cannot quote that for you, no, but I could look for it very quickly.
I think something
Section
that's
one.
very important
Section
for
1?
here.
Well, I cannot. We have
I
to,
believe the board violated the law.
we have to keep
Why
moving
should the board
forward.
when it went into the executive session?
We have to keep moving forward. I appreciate you being here. Keep moving forward. Our meeting has to
You
keep going.
couldn't have at least one comment from a citizen?
No, sir.
Who thinks the board violated the law? I think the board would want to know that.
We get the
Give me
gist.
5 minutes, and I'll share.
No, sir, we cannot give you 5 minutes. You're not on the agenda. If we did that, then everybody would want to
When does
be.
the board next meet?
July the 3rd, Thursday.
Will you put me on the agenda?
You can call the central
My name
office.
is Dr. Bill Ray Lewis. I live
Okay,
in Harrison.
okay. You can call the central office and ask to be
I'm
on the
telling you
agenda.
right now.
I don't get to do that.
Do you have a secretary that's
Hit
here?
submit in writing.
Could she take
Submit it in writing,
Follow the policy.
follow the
No,
policy.
let me just tell you right
No,
now.
sir, we cannot do that.
1.1?
Point of order, I'd like to
thank
continue with
you.
the meeting.
Thank you.
Yes, okay, so we are going to recognize a very special person. Who's doing that? Dr. Rose?
We have the
Ms. Rose?
Outdoor Adventure Educator of the Year, Mr. Freddie Pinka.
Mr. Freddie Pinka? Where are you?
And we're going to start with a really cool video.
You're hide. Okay, all right, we're going to show a little video about our Outdoor Adventure Educator of the Year, Mr. Freddie Pinka.
I love everything about the outdoors. I was raised here in the Ozarks, and we lived in the woods. My name is Freddie Pinka. I teach outdoor adventures. I'm an outdoor adventure instructor at Pinkston Middle School in Mountain Home, Arkansas. I'm very blessed to be the 2024 Outdoor Adventures Educator of the Year. Our our administration values outdoor education. We knew when we started this that we wanted to do it right. Outdoors Tomorrow Foundation has been a partner with us from day one, establishing our program.
Coach Pink is a guy that loves coming to work every single day. He's jovial, smile on his face, the kids love him.
It's that spark. You want to get that spark in the kids. You can have great programming and you can have great curriculum and great classes, but if you don't have a teacher who connects with the students and makes them feel important and special, then it doesn't really matter.
I think every school in this state should have this program because it's good for the kids. It gets them outside, and it's good for the natural resources of the state because we've got more conservation-minded people as they grow.
The biggest resource that we have in that whole thing is Brady Pink. He makes the class go. So if anything, I have to reel him back in on some of that stuff.
The other conservation project we have is our trout classroom aquarium. It gives our students an opportunity to see the life cycle of those trout. And sometime in the spring, we will actually deliver them and put them in the White River. So we'll release them to their environment. It's a wonderful opportunity for kids to see the life cycle of trout.
The relationship that Freddie has with his students is one that shows that he has worked to have a good rapport with them and that they respect him and they want to learn from him.
The best situation that you can be in is these kids are hooked in and they are locked in and they are ready to learn each and every day. 2 years ago, I got to take a class to the hatchery, and so they got to fish for about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. After we got back, one of the things I wanted to do was have our kids write a thank you letter to the mentor, thanking them for spending time and showing them how to fly fish. One of the thank you letters stated, "Thank you for spending the day with me. This has been the greatest day of my life." And he went on to say, I hope to be able to do this for someone else when I get it. You never know when it comes. You never know which kid that you affect in different activities, but it's pretty powerful. That's one of the things that is a legacy that I hope that I can leave with kids, that they value the nature, they value an outdoor activity, and they find a lot of happiness in that, and they get a lot of joy from that. I want to thank the Arkansas Game and Fish. I want to thank our administration here at Mountain Home and also the Outdoor Tomorrow Foundation for this award. Without their support, this wouldn't be possible.
Buy you a boat, but I think you got this beautiful 8x10. You were a great mentor to my children, my three sons, and I can't thank you enough for your dedication. This is so is this a government, we get a little bit of money from?
There's no money attached to any of this. But yeah, no,
Okay.
it's a.
We'll get a picture and then you're gonna tell us a little bit about things.
Oh, well, I got to talk.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Come on.
Come on.
Yeah, you too. You're it.
One, two, three. No, you're right, I didn't. Not having of our students. No, thank you.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the award and the course you're teaching at Pinkston.
Well, I didn't have any notes prepared here on this, so I was.
You're a good.
Shoot from the cuff here. We started Outdoor Adventures about 3 years ago at Pinkston. We saw a need for our kids to connect with the environment, kids connect with our resources. We live in a fantastic place to make this possible, and it's kind of amazing sometimes how little less of time the kids spend in the outdoors or what we have around them. So we want to try to help make that connection. Our Outdoor Adventures program started in connection with Arkansas Game and Fish, the Outdoor Tomorrow Foundation that you that you alluded to there earlier, and they have a curriculum that's set, we can use, and we obviously use a lot of different entities with Fred Berry Nature Center, things like that to go to, but City Mountain Home is always opened up their lakes and things, anything we need to do. And so we put together a curriculum. Our students are able to earn their hunter education certification, their boater education certification in class. It's a semester-long class at Pinkston. This is 6th and 7th grade students. Last year, I think we had about 180 kids that went through our program, both semesters, a semester-long thing there. So next year, our numbers always keep kind of going up. They keep coming to me and having all our Hackler kids signed up. I think we had 180, 190 Hackler kids signed up last year. Thank you for sending them our way. We don't know how we're going to get them all, but it's a growing program, and kids get so excited about coming to class. And I mean, this is, it's a dream job. I mean, I'm not, it's absolutely fantastic. Our administration, Pinkston, got on board with it. Started with Lindsey Blevins, and then has obviously moved up through Justin Smith and stuff. And he, says, yeah, we're gonna get behind this and do this. And so we've kind of started this. I do want to mention that this spring I met with Arkansas Game and Fish, and they have a program that they're beginning to start, and they call it the School of School Conservation Designation. And there's a certain criteria that every school in, say, private, public, whatever, does and stuff, and you can earn this designation. And so we're going to be on path to this next year to try to get that designation. That's a 3-year designation from the Arkansas Game and Fish. So that's something that we're looking forward to get that here in our district as well. But as far as the award goes, I mean, it was, obviously it was a surprise. It was our 3rd year into it, but we have enough stuff going on, and they were, they came through, and one of the ladies came through. They fish in our area, and she wanted to come and see her class, and she was absolutely taken aback by what we were able to do. And she asked if I would apply, and I thought, there's no chance of that, and lo and behold, we get a letter, and here we are.
There we are.
But anyway, I tell everybody, I said, this is a shared award. This is not a one-person award. This is everyone in this room that supports our program at Pinkston. This is the City of Mountain Home. This is Arkansas Game and Fish. This is the Corps of Engineers comes and helps us. This is the staff down at the hatchery, and everybody else that supports us in one way or another of all the different types of things that we do. We're adding to it. It's not a finished product. We're going to get better as we go. That we can kind of do and stuff, but it's exciting. It's the Game and Fish and the State Department of Education are really trying to push outdoor education, so we're kind of at the forefront of that, and hopefully we'll be able to improve on what we're doing. So thank you for your support for that. And again, this is a shared thing here. So
Thanks,
Coach.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you. I've seen that video yesterday, and it really encouraged a board member that needed a little encouragement. I did a little checking on you.
Oh, fantastic.
Because stuff like this just doesn't happen. You're not just doing the minimum. You're going above and beyond, and the award is because you go above and beyond. We need more folks like you, and thank you. You could see the excitement and just the whole passion of the program.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah,
Thank you.
as an educator, this is I finished 27 years. I don't know. I mean, as educators, and got a lot of educators in here. You feed off energy, off of what the kids want to. When they come to school every day, want to learn and stuff, that makes you want to do more too. So, we got to feed off them, and they feed off me, and it's a good thing for sure. Yeah.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you. Ms. Cotter, would you like to follow that with your financial reports?
You always do that.
Let's wow us.
Good
evening.
We
ended the month of May with $17,036,038.78. As you know, we're currently in our 12th month, our 12th period in June, so we're winding down the year, and we will do our best to have everything all closed out 6:20, or 6:30, sorry, it's not 6:20.
Very good.
Any questions? Moving on to the statement of revenue, expenditures and changes in fund balances for the month ending May 31 of 2024. We had total revenues of $5,477,088.70 with total expenditures of $5,390,429.91. Moving on, our monthly operating fund balance for the month of May, we ended with $10,003,970.41, keeping in mind that on 6/10 is when our summer payrolls hit, so you'll see that line take a dive down in next month.
What day?
6/10.
10?
6/10, yes.
Well.
And finally, we have the statement of changes in activity funds, and we ended the month of May with all activity funds combined with $550,883.56.
Okay, anyone have any questions for Ms. Cotter? Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Enrollment report.
We are sitting at 3,760 students. That is 12 down from where we were last year, but it is less down than where we were the year before. So we knew it was going to decrease some, but it has not decreased as much as it did the year before. So we'll keep watching that. We're going to keep enrolling kindergartners. I don't have Mr. Roach here today to tell us exactly what that number is, but we should have a better number for you next month.
Yes.
As far as our
For next year.
kindergarten numbers for next year.
Right. Very good. Any questions for Ms. Dewey? Mr. Knight? Nope, sorry.
Student transfers.
Oh, sorry, student transfer update wasn't underlined.
Student transfers, we have 4 kids coming in, including 2 kindergartners, 5 going out, but we have 3 of those have never attended Mountain Home Schools. One was an address issue, and they had missed school choice and needed to do the transfer. They were already out of district. And then we had another interesting situation. We had a student who was actually living in a different district, but because of, and going to school, they moved out of district, but because of AAA rules, we needed to get them transferred before July 1. It just helped the kid with athletic purposes as well, so he could practice. So that child was not going to be ours, but we're going ahead and counting him as a transfer.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Now, Mr. Knight with facilities report.
Okay, so we're getting almost to July and through summer, so I just wanted to give you some of the updates of the things you all have approved, they're getting done. And then I also updated the attachment there with the new printout of what's in the building fund. Security doors, the access control, done, finally. Finally.
Thank you.
Final walkthrough is tomorrow.
Nice.
Then we'll sign off on that, and we've already started rekeying the outside doors. We'll have that done early July. So we got the high school cafeteria has been stripped of all the tile. That should be done in a few weeks. The asbestos was removed from F Hall. That's where we're going to put the preschool. And that polishing should be done by Monday. Indoor baseball parking lot, if you've driven by, it's already sealed. They're going to stripe it on Monday. And then the Pinkston parking lot should be done in a couple weeks.
Busy summer.
Yeah, that's just the start of it. So.
Yeah.
Do y'all have any questions? I get to stand up here a little while.
Yep, might as well just stay right there. So we will now move to board action items and request to approve the kindergarten roof bid.
Okay, so we talked about this at the last meeting. I got a couple quotes on it. I have it into the insurance now to make sure we're good it's still gonna have to pass through facilities, which should not be a problem. But I want you to look at those numbers. So the damage, lowest bidder on that, the damage repair is $166,000. We're gonna have to pay $10,000 of that, and they'll cover the rest of it. The undamaged cost for the rest of the school, just like at around $340,000. So throw all those together, that entire roof to replace would be around $350,000. We don't have to replace the whole roof. It's on the list to start going to facilities to try to get a little funding that you may or may not get at our next round, so it'll be a few years. It'll be due then. That'll be the roof, the gutters, the curbing. So I attached those quotes on there. The second quote I did get from another company came in outrageously higher than that. Just for instance, just their repair was $328,000. So it was a big. I try to get the companies that we have done business with and knew to do this, since we're trying to rush it to get it done. They're assuring me we should be able to get it done before school starts. We start in July. I went ahead and said things happen. Kind of don't believe contractors. So when it doesn't, what's going to happen? Anything that we need, nights and weekends, get finished. So I'm recommending that you all approve replacing that kindergarten roof at a total cost of $505,833.
I have recommendations. Anyone have a motion?
Make a motion to approve replacing the kindergarten roof at the total cost of $505,833.
Thank you, Daniel. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Molly. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. If we replace the damaged roof with the insurance money, we were at $10,000. I remember the kindergarten roof, we had a list of roofs that were nearing the end of their lifespan. If we do just the insurance repair now and hold off, I think it was 4 or 5 years, you may refresh my memory, and when that roof should be coming to the end of its life, and we were looking to replace it anyway. I think you told us last time that this repair, because it's an emergency repair, it doesn't involve an architect.
No architect.
Whereas if we do it, if we come back later and do the $300,000 worth of repair of the undamaged part of the roof, we then have to engage an architect.
We will.
And of course, it'll be more expensive at that point. Just 5 years from now, it will be more expensive.
And I would say that this roof is end of life, and it is time. Of the ones that are end of life, it is probably in the better, it is in better condition than Guyberry, but it still needs done. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So we applied for Guyberry in the high school ag building first, because those are the worst. Does it still need to be done? It needs to be done. We are patching it multiple times a year. And then, anything over $100,000 requires an architect. So as long as they were fine, facilities was fine, as long as we replaced it with the same type. So.
For public knowledge, what is a architect fee roughly cost?
I think I want to say that the junior high was at $100,000.
Right.
And I will say that we don't normally get funding from the facilities division, and that year we did. And I remember what we got, just all it did pretty much was cover the architect. So that was,
keep that in mind.
It was like $1.2 million. So it wouldn't be that, what?
I thought it was closer to 2.
Yeah, it was 1.8.
1.8?
Mm.
1.8,
So
that was a big chunk of
it would
money.
be a lot lower this time, but.
And knowing how many facilities are out there in the state that are in need of repair and applying for partnership funding, what would you say are odds of getting partnership funding for the portion of the roof that's undamaged?
I would plan on not getting it.
Okay. So with that said, it seems like it's in the best interest of the district, taking the long-term view, to go on and pay this now without the architect's fees, before the inflation. We have one roof without a piece, and then the rest of it, we have one fluid roof that goes through. So thinking about this, it seems to be in the best interest. Do we want to come up with $500,000 right now? Obviously, well, some of that's the insurance money. $340 ourselves, or $350 ourselves. No, but taking that long-term view, it's gonna be the cheapest, most efficient option. Do you agree with that statement?
That's why I wanna do it. I know we're watching every dollar, but we're almost getting half the roof for free.
This would be building fund replacement as well.
Yeah, that's why I made sure that when you guys know that I did update that spreadsheet from the earlier with what's currently in there.
I agree with your assessment. But as I'm watching our building fund, it's going down. I mean, let's be honest, the community does not want to invest in education anymore, so we're cutting our budgets to balance budgets. So we've got another roof coming up in a couple of years and a couple more roofs coming up in a couple of years. In the big picture, I mean, we're going to come to a place where do we even have enough money to do repairs? Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
So what, if we're going to have a discussion, what was the board going to do in 2 or 3 years when we don't have money, or say when the existing bond to pay Hackler is gone? How do we maintain the facilities? And I agree with your statement. It just makes total sense to put the roof on now. But that doesn't leave us much in the building fund.
I would say that's a much bigger discussion on
3 years from
what do
now.
we do when that bond expires to
Well, that,
discussing.
absolutely, but we got years for that.
It's a valid discussion, needs to
But
be
we're
had,
taking
but-
almost half of our building fund right now.
No, there's $5.7
$5.7 million.
And we're adding three, this roof is gonna be three.
$300,000 off.
Yeah.
300,000 off of 5.7
Down to
million.
5,400,000, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's all right.
All right.
That'll still be more money than we're probably gonna put in there, you know, this year and next
yes,
year.
I would guess
So
that.
it is, we are depleting it.
Yes, we're using it. And
We need
that's-
more students.
And we need to watch our budget, and we are.
Mhm.
And I'm hopeful that very soon we will
Not
get
bad,
back
I'm
to
playing
where-
with the zero.
Okay.
I mean, I'll
That we
just be
can get
honest.
back.
Okay.
Might have been me.
I'm doing numbers with a zero
Well,
there.
we still need to watch it. I think
Always.
everybody would
Okay,
agree.
yeah.
Yes.
But that still needs to be something we're careful
All right.
with.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Request to approve yearly copy paper bid.
Okay, so each year, all the schools, I'm gonna say all, so the majority of the schools in our co-op get together, and try to get one large bid through, to get consortium pricing through them to try to get the paper cost for the next year as cheap as we can. So we ask each school, what do you need for the next year? We look at what we didn't use last year, add it all together. They bid that for us, and that bid came in around $10,000 less than we did pay last year. So that was good.
That's amazing.
So I'm recommending that the board
Something
approve that low bid of $41,656.58 for copy paper for next year.
A lot of paper.
Yeah.
That is
Not even
budgeted
much.
through each school's budget
Very good.
for next year.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we accept the proposal to purchase paper for next year as presented.
Second.
Scott, Daniel, any discussion on paper? All in favor? Unanimous. Request to approve yearly paper and plastic bid.
Okay, so this year we put out bids like we do every year for our best guess for how much toilet paper, paper towels. I know you don't like our toilet paper.
Let's get bidets.
To try to get it in bulk, to kind of get the pricing down, and to have it here when we need it. We had a few, if you don't have to open, if you'll just look at the bidders, probably the next question you're gonna ask me is why do we have two that are very low? Those were, those two bidders were just some companies on the internet that found the bid, and they bid partial.
Yeah, facial.
It's
Yeah.
not the whole thing. So your two correct bids are bidder number 2 and bidder number 3. So I'm asking that you all approve bidder number 2 at a price of $102,372.02.
Anyone have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the paper and plastic products proposal as presented.
Second.
Scott and Barbara, any discussion on toilet paper? Go to bidets. wipes. Okay, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Request to approve kindergarten AC units.
Okay, so at the very end of last summer, some people came and did, I think they're moving the preschool playground around. I don't know if you've been to the back of the kindergarten, there's an unsightly, ugly orange construction fencing around those. That was their requirement to start school. They came so late, we did not have a chance to fix that. So we want to get that fixed. Part of that is going to be unhooking the AC units, pouring new concrete pads, which we will do ourselves, putting them back on. Talking with our HVAC person, those units are 23 years old, so they are at end of life. Since we're already going to pull them and put them back, we would like to just go ahead and replace them with new. They also, kind of a standard for us now, is anytime you replace something new, you want outside mixed air. We've been putting these ionization units in them to keep the air quality better. So that will be done too. So I'm asking that you let me go ahead and replace those with new. There's 6 at a price of $36,444.32. That would also come out of the building fund.
Make a motion to complete the kindergarten HVAC replacements as written.
A motion, second? Any discussion?
Will that
It's a pretty good price.
done by the time?
Yes, yeah. Barring something that would happen with shipping that we're not seeing, we will have that done before school starts. In fact, I'm not even gonna unhook them until they are shipped all the way here.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I missed the requirement to have that fenced in. Where did that come from? Was that the state that's?
Who, pre-K? Who does
It's
our pre-K?
DHS pre-K.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's our pre-K,
So
so since
pre-K
there,
is
it's different rules for kindergarten and pre-K, but we have a licensed pre-K, so.
DHS.
And that's all.
Yeah.
They just
23
do
years
the
old.
numbers.
I mean, I'm assuming these are, I know they are, the SEER levels are gonna be that, just from my personal experience, we replaced one at my house not long ago, and the SEER level, the energy efficiency of it, you can look at it and it almost pays for itself.
These will pay themselves off in 10 years.
And they have a life expectancy of at least that long, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
About 23.
23.
We're lucky, and I'm actually kind of worried if I pulled them off, how many wouldn't work when I plug them back in.
I was gonna say, if they're working, can we save them, so when we have one go down in the middle of the year somewhere?
I'll save
where
one for you if you
plug-
want.
Well, not for me, but you plug it back in
No, I
somewhere
mean,
else.
not for you
in the
personally, I mean,
district?
I'll save one if you want to save it.
Well, we're talking about building funds, saving the dollar, so, yeah,
Yeah.
plug it in somewhere else if one at Nelson Wilkes stops working. I
Put
don't
them
know
in
if
the
they're.
graveyard so we can rob them for parts later.
Oh, goodness.
We do that often, we suck the refrigerant out of them and reuse it too. So
Okay, so we will cannibalize them as needed, not
do
just chuck them
anything
in
we
the trash.
can to save a dollar.
Okay.
Yep.
All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Last one, request
Okay, technology
to
hat.
approve 24 Go Guardian renewal.
Yes, so we have software that we use, and this is for all the Chromebooks in the school district, both on-site and when they leave for off-site. That software restricts what they can and cannot see on the internet. It also allows them while they're in school, the teachers can control what's on their screen and see what's on their screen. And a very important thing that it does is it monitors the students' use and looks for self-harm. And if it sees something that has to do with suicidal ideation or anything that where they may want to hurt themselves or harm someone else, it alerts our counselors and I'm pretty sure Matt said, so that we can get on that. That does happen yearly.
How often do you think that happens?
I didn't ask this year, but I remember last time I came with this, I was basically told like it's worth its money. So,
Yeah.
One person is worth its money.
One person.
Save one child, it would be worth its money.
Does this filter even when they're at home?
yes.
On our
Design
Chromebook, yeah,
On
our equipment.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't think we're technically required to do that through SIPA. We're supposed to do it here, but it is doing it here, so we let it
Like to protect them here and at home.
here at home.
Yeah. Home is usually more dangerous sometimes. Okay,
This is a renewal. We did do sealed bids with it. You're only gonna see one bidder on that for two reasons. One, they have the preferred vendor status with tech, and two, because that is who we bought the software from the first time. They get the rights to gives the cheapest price to renew. So I'm recommending that we renew that at a price of $31,496. And if you look, it comes out of federal Title I funds for next year.
Make a motion, we accept the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second from Daniel. Any discussion?
We may have discussions about software, what software licenses we need to buy at times. To me, this is a no-brainer. This is something we have to do. I think every responsible parent should have filtering on their children's devices. So for us as a district to give them access to that world out there without some form of filtering, that they could get all the stuff that they don't need to be seeing and access without that filtering. Even not even thinking about the suicidal awareness piece of this software, you have to. We can't just give students Chromebooks with no type of filtering. So this is what to me is a no-brainer, and the fact that it's out of federal funds, Title I funds. So this is federal dollars that are paying for this. It's a no-brainer to me.
Very good. All in favor? Unanimous.
Thank
Thank you, Mr. Knight. Mr. Rose and principals request to approve the 24-25 handbook and procedures. What? Sorry?
I could have some left, right?
We don't need all the principals too. We'll just take you.
I don't think so.
Okay.
This is the third read. You'll see handbook revisions occur annually in order to update procedures and reflect any district changes in policy. Revisions are based on policies which have been presented and adopted by the school board. Procedures are reviewed based on committee discussion and decisions, and this is the third read of the handbooks. The rationale be to provide updated information to stakeholders concerning policies and procedural changes or revisions to district handbooks and procedures. A recommendation is that we approve the 24-25 handbooks as presented.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion, we accept the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Jason and Molly, any discussion?
It's a lot of reading. It's a lot to
A
go
lot of
through.
reading.
And these are essentially an extension of our policy. So
Correct.
they carry the weight of policy. So encourage all of our students and parents to take a good read of them before the year.
Before they sign it.
Before they sign it.
Mhm.
And we've sat back, and I've spent back many an evening reading through these things and cranking through them. So
Thank you for the time you've given us
Yeah.
to read these
Yes.
and go through this.
You bet. And I also just want to say, I was talking to Mr. Morris earlier and Mr. Russell, and they've already started working on plans on how to update their parents and everything, the changes and all that. We all worked on it today, you said, or yesterday? Yeah, so it's huge, like you said, Mr. Booth, to get that word out to inform and let everybody know where they're at, what the rules are, what the changes are, and just to remember to look at those, because you are signing off on those.
Yes, sir.
Serving on the high school handbook committee, I mentioned this earlier, the seriousness that the teachers, they take this serious. I was very impressed.
And the
Mr. Morris
students.
was outstanding in leading and didn't always agree with everybody, but I really appreciate how each of the principals, how the faculty, how they include students and come together to a common plan. It's something we can all learn from, how to work together and work through our differences and come together for a common plan.
Thank
They
you.
did a fabulous job, for sure.
Thank you.
All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Rose. Request to approve ELA materials purchase. Would you like to explain what ELA stands for our?
ELA, English Language Arts.
Thank you.
So our literacy curriculum, essentially. So we're looking at 612. Just a little background there. Policy 3.42 states that the curriculum committees to review and make recommendations with respect to textbooks and other instructional materials. Selection of a core literacy program will provide alignment across our 612 grade levels for students and teachers and materials and resources to support the science of reading. The approval of My Perspectives complete program will meet the need to provide the HQIM, or the high quality instructional materials, and alignment for grades 6-12. And just a little background on that, we are already using that grades 6-7, finished our third year with that. Grades 8 and 9 just finished 1 year with it. and now 10, 12 high schools bringing it on, and now so we'll be completely vertically aligned with this purchase from grades 6 through 12, which is huge in the world of learning and PLCs and working together to grow our knowledge together. So we're asking recommendations that the Mountain Home Board of Education approves the adoption of the 3-year My Perspectives, that's the brand, or the name of it, by the way, complete program for $130,182.25. And that will all be out of operating.
Operating, all right. Do I have a motion?
That is a 3-year agreement.
I'll make a motion that we approve the adoption of the 3-year My Perspective Complete Program in the amount of $130,182.
Thank you, Molly. Do I have a second?
25 cents.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in,
Just a second. You've said we've used this. I'm assuming we've been pretty happy with 6 through 7, that's why we're expanding this. Curriculum gets a lot of attention, both from the parents, the community, teachers. Curriculum, that you have the full spectrum of it, and unfortunately, there's political from far one side, far to the other when it comes to curriculum. CRT, obviously, we don't do CRT in the state or in our district. Can you talk about is there anything that's been controversial that we've had before we purchase this and expand it? Like, where does this fall on that spectrum? Is it fairly apolitical? Is it where we've been comfortable with it 6 through 7?
Very comfortable, 6, 7. Mr. Smith's back there. I know they've used it finished up their 3rd year, and I don't think I've been back in
junior high.
But they used it for a year, but very, very happy with it. Teachers are thrilled to have it. In high school, 10 through 12 hasn't had a curriculum. This is new for them to adopt a high quality instructional material. This is new and a big move, to jump on that. But yes, it covers all the bases, CRT, that kind of stuff.
Okay, thank you.
The committee have researched that. Ms. Russell and her committee there at high school, and they're pretty excited to get this, very excited.
Okay.
Very good. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
All right, now we'll move on to math.
Request to approve math materials purchase.
So we met several times over the course of the year with the committee on this one, and a lot of great discussions. So the background, once again, 3.42. I won't reread all that. It was the same as the last one. We'll go to the rationale. The selection of high-quality instructional materials, the HQIM, is essential in providing instruction in math for all students. After months of research and committee meetings, it was decided that the iReady from Curriculum Associates was the selection for grades K through 7. Also, we would continue to utilize that in grades 6 through 8 because the buildings broke up and the data we need to collect at Guy Berry. And then for grades 8 through 12, really the big 4 subjects, 8th grade and the big 3 there, they're going to go with McGraw-Hill with their Reveal math curriculum. Lots of great discussion over the year. I know Mr. Chester was in on some of that, and it's a fantastic group of teachers we have, and it really thinks through. And we had some really tough discussions, but it come out good. They looked at multiple curriculum. I think about 5 different ones, and narrowed it down to 2, and then these were the choices at the end. And we'll get on down about the cost then. The recommendation is that and I'll explain that here in just a second, is that the Board of Education approves the adoption of iReady for K-7, and that includes Guy Berry piece in this total for right at $150,000 there, you see. And then a 3-year agreement with Reveal for grades 8-12 for $128,476, and then you see the total $278,341.50, and there'll be shipping added in on that. And before talking any further, one other thing on that, I'd mentioned it would be split accordingly. On the math, we're a lot of supplemental pieces in that. So the supplemental, that's assessments, pathways to allow kids to make up ground or to practice extra work, that kind of thing, to help them make up any skills gaps or to extend them if they're above and beyond. So that's going to be roughly in the amount of about $175,000 to $180,000 that will be paid out of federal. And that would include like your professional development throughout the year, that kind of thing. It's all under federal or professional development. So on the operating side, we're hovering right about 100,000 of that is what would come out of operating, out of that 278.
Okay.
For 3 years, over 3 years.
3 years.
Well, let's clarify that real
Yeah.
quick. So
For Reveal.
iReady is a 1 year. Reveal is a 3 year.
Okay.
Okay? iReady is substantially more expensive. It has a lot more to it. The Reveal for the upper grades, we're looking at actual textbooks again. So Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Geometry will actually have hardback textbooks. And then after this year, their only piece would be the digital, but that digital's covered for a 3 year. So after 3 years, you're just gonna have to renew the digital at that point on the 8 and up.
The iReady is a consumable,
Yeah.
and so that's the expense. And
Yeah,
that
out
is-
of that.
But a significant amount of the iReady is federal for the
Yeah,
professional
just to
development.
give you a
and
rough
online.
estimate, the classroom side of things on that's paid out of local or operationals on the iReady is about 57,000. And the remaining amount is made of the federal and the VB of that 149, so. And the guy, Barry Peace will also be, I just got confirmation yesterday or day before, we'll be able to purchase it with our CSP grant. And I'm actually tying it up for 6 years, so.
Lock 'em in.
Get it while I
Lock 'em
got it,
in.
right?
So we'll see K through 7, whether it's iReady or somebody else next year, but for 6 through 12, we should be good.
8 through 12 for 3 years. K7. But the committee agreed not to change that next year. They agreed to an adoption cycle. They didn't want to go back and rehash all that in 1 year.
Sure.
So the purchase itself is just for a yearly purchase on the iReady. Okay.
I know we weren't really in a discussion period yet, so.
No, not yet. So do we have a motion? Jumping the gun on me, Scott.
I'll make a motion that we accept the proposal to purchase math materials as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jason. Now, do we have any further discussion? All in favor?
Got it all out.
Unanimous, thank you.
Thank
Mr. Rose, Ms. Cotter, request to approve annual audit acceptance.
Hello again.
Hello.
So this year, our auditors arrived in late spring, which they usually come much earlier than that. So this is literally hot off the press.
Like a flower.
We did receive this week the final audit, and today it was certified. So each year, the district's financial records must be audited. The district engages the Legislative Joint Auditing Committee Division of Legislative Audit for this purpose. The audit is designed to provide assurance that the district is receiving and expending funds in accordance with appropriate federal and state regulations. So, Ms. Kelly, if you would click on the audit that's attached, and if you would scroll to page 31. Each year I bring your attention to Schedule 4. And that it recaps what happened last year. I'm happy to report we had no findings this year.
Great.
And just to remind you that last year we talked about the Emergency Connectivity Fund grant that we had gotten with our ESSER fund. It was part of the COVID
fund,
money,
yeah.
COVID funding. And a lot of times during that time, the grants were coming out before we got the rules and things such as that. So we found out that we had been reimbursed for $17,992 of equipment that really wasn't eligible, so we paid that money back. And so this page is just letting you know that corrective action was taken and this matter was resolved.
Very good.
So we're asking, unless you have questions, the recommendation is for the board to accept the legislative audit report for Mountain Home Public School District's fiscal year ended 6/30 of 2023.
Make a motion to accept the legislation audit report for Mount Home Public School District fiscal year ended June 30th, 2023.
Thank you, Daniel. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, or any discussion? Sorry. We're good? All right, all in favor. Thank you, unanimous. Ms. Cotter, request to approve a budget adjustment.
Yes, we had a couple of changes in our Fund 2265 and 6750. And so this is just a request to adjustments that are attached. And this is for the 23-24 school year.
Make a motion, we accept the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Jason and Daniel, any discussion?
Those are good increases.
Yeah.
Roughly 303,000 increase. Most of that's coming out of our billing out of Medicaid.
I have to say, we're very pleased with that. C's is doing our billing now, and that has shown to be a very good thing. So we're grateful.
Yes, ma'am.
That is a good thing. Very good. Any further discussion?
For folks who don't know, we are required by law to provide services to our students. So we have to expend this money. There's been some discussion about increasing our billing correctly so we get the reimbursements that the district has. So I think this is a great step in that direction to start getting the insurers reimbursement for those services that we are providing. So this is a great number. So it's a good step in the right direction. So.
Ms. Benton and her team.
Yes, I was going to say thank you to Ms. Benton because she has worked very hard on this, and it's paid off.
When we're looking at our dollars, that's a big number of, hey, there was money that was sitting out there that we got. So that helps.
Very good. Any further discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, Ms. Cotter. Ms. Benton, request to approve contracted services for Homebound and ESY.
All right, now I need to spend some of that money. So, we have a student who requires homebound services and also extended school year services in a homebound setting. And Miss Cindy Perrin has provided those services for the student in the past, and we would like for her to continue to do that. She is a retired teacher from our district, and we would like to enter into this contract with her for $45 an hour.
Very good. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion, we accept the recommendation.
I have Jason. Any
I'll second.
Thank you, Scott. Any discussion?
Once again, this is those services that we are required by law to provide to this student. So we have a good history with Ms. Perrin, as I understand it. So it's something that we have to do. And
In the
she's-
extended
she's
school
exempt.
year, we actually do file some reimbursement, so we'll be able to recoup a portion of that money.
Very good.
As I looked at this, I was going to address some of the things you talked about. We talked about getting reimbursement. I was curious, how much does this child cost us versus what do we get, and what is it going to take on the legislative side to maybe balance that? I'm assuming we're going to have a significant loss on this.
Absolutely. So you can see in the past slide, the 2265 fund is catastrophic, and that is where we try to reimburse some of our funds for students that cost over $15,000. This student does not meet that threshold, so we do not get to file for that reimbursement. We do get to file for extended school year reimbursement, and it's $75 a day, so, or $72 a day, I believe. So we'll be able to recoup some of that cost for the ESY time, which is only a few weeks in July for this student. But the other cost there is we just get our 6B allocation for him being on our child account, him or her.
So it would be like a legislative issue if we can get some congressmen to say, let's balance that up a little bit. Is that really even
I think it's
worth
important to
looking at?
note that IDEA as a whole is underfunded, and you know, I'm part of a state board, and we continue to advocate for that because it is underfunded, drastically underfunded. And we recoup as much money. I mean, you guys can see our budget funds. We have several areas, and we make a lot of our own money, but.
So for
Not
some of
enough.
the politically active people, this would be a worthy cause for our school, I would think.
It is, the more we can advocate for more funds for IDU and schools to fund that, that would be great.
Very good, okay. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you, Ms. Benton. Okay, Mr. Engel, PPC Chair, request to approve policy 3.34 MH update.
So this update to policy 3.34 comes from our discussion last month, and it's simply a modification of the certified language to match the classified language when it comes to cell phone usage.
Always a fun topic.
Oh, yeah. So with that, I'd ask you to approve the changes to 3.34 to match that of the classified.
I make a motion that we, since it was me that did it before here. it's in the back.
Thank you, Scott.
I make a motion we accept the changes to 3.34 as presented. Second.
Thank you, Daniel. Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Kind of back to where we were last time. I'm all for consistency through the entire, from students to teachers, through the entire thing. But what I would like to add into the discussion, 'cause when I looked at this first, I was like, shouldn't this have been decided 20 years ago? Well, it was, in 2004. We're coming to a place in history where if Elon Musk gets his way, we're gonna have Neuralink, and we're gonna have all kinds of other things, and cell phones are gonna be kind of a thing of the past. We should be looking at the new technologies coming at us, because there's the debate on cell phones. I don't strictly have a position. We're gonna all be talking about that at some point. Here's what I did do. I talked to a substitute teacher in regards to this overall issue, because who better to understand what's going on in our classes? And of course, I didn't ask for teacher names or anything like that. The response I got from that teacher, we have a no cell phone policy in the school. Some classes, absolutely. I mean, it's not, you wouldn't bring your cell phone out. He went to another class where, first thing the student did was put his cell phone on the desk and took out a device and started acting like they were driving on it. I had to tell that student, don't do that, 3 times. And again, I'm not asking for teachers, and I'm not micromanaging classrooms. We have a policy. It seems to me that a teacher allows that to go on in their class, or that wouldn't be happening. You know, we can make policies all we want, but unless they're enforced with consistency, with consequences, doesn't do any good to make these policies. I don't necessarily want to give more freedom. I don't want to take freedom away. But if we say no cell phones in the classroom, the teacher should be able to deal with that. It's not a hard problem. I want to see consistency. I want to see from the board has made the policy. It needs to go through the superintendent. It needs to go to the principals. And what is a supervisor? What qualifies as a supervisor now?
I would say your principal, because this is our certified staff.
Assistants
So
is-
principal or director, if you're in a department that doesn't have a principal but has a director. That would be your supervisor.
Well, the students in that class that were just getting the cell phone out and using it, no problem, had a supervisor, a teacher. The teacher obviously didn't have a problem with cell phones.
Substitute teacher.
And that's the.
No, the substitute teacher didn't allow it. I've just got my information from a substitute teacher.
And I will
looking
say
at
through
different
our
classes.
handbook discussion, this was a point of emphasis from the teachers, from our administration.
Right.
For the
This is
student
our-
handbook.
For the student handbook, right, and this is the employee handbook we're talking about here, obviously, but I feel strongly there's gonna be stronger consistency from this teacher to student interaction next year. I'm quite optimistic about it.
Probably the main reason for my part of the discussion is we make a policy. I want everybody to be aware that the policy means something. And I want there to be consequences in a consistent, fair way. I get extenuating circumstances, absolutely. There is no good answer on cell phones. But we're moving towards new technologies that are just even gonna be beyond with artificial intelligence, what if a student has something in their back of their head that's gonna give them the answer faster than the teacher can give them the question? I mean, we're coming into that, so I'm just bringing that up at this point.
So wouldn't that be other electronic communication? When
It's gonna be, it's a long discussion, and I'm just bringing up the point. We have policies. The expectation is we follow policies.
I've loved the policy. And
And this policy was long overdue to be updated. I think it was last updated in 2006.
Yeah.
So, before the first iPhone even came out. So, yeah, we'll stay on top of it a little bit more than
Yearly.
17 years,
Yeah.
is that right? One more?
Yearly is a good idea. All right. Any discussion? We've done that. Now let's all in favor. Okay, unanimous.
Thanks,
Thank
Matt.
you,
Thank you.
Mr. Engel. Board discussion, we've had a lot of great work done tonight, Mr. Pinka with his award. I know we've had a lot of distractions tonight also, but I think the business done here tonight shows that we have the best interest of our district, and we continue to do good work for our local students, teachers, and faculty, and our community. And I feel that that will continue to be our focus. And now we will have a superintendent update.
Okay, so you might notice that Miss Morgan has a trophy next to her microphone.
It's a second place trophy, Molly.
Okay,
So-
when you're as athletic as I am,
None.
second place is really good.
Okay.
So
It is.
Miss Morgan
Really good.
we had her new board member training today, and I chose to attend that with her via Zoom because we had a meeting tonight. So she got to be included on the Mountain Home Public Schools mini golf team at the library.
Good job.
We were invited to participate during our lunchtime, and it was a ton of fun. We took he's gone, but Mr. Morris, who said he's the worst putter in Baxter County except for Mitch Husky. I thought those were fighting words.
Our athletic director.
Our athletic director, and SRO Daniel Shaw came and participated as well. And Daniel actually was first place.
Oh.
So thank you to the library.
Big
They're
money in
hosting
that.
a really fun.
That was
It was
well
really
done.
neat. A fundraiser today that I hope, it appeared to be really well attended,
Mhm.
and I'm hopeful they made lots of money tonight because you know that library supports our students.
Yes.
And we want to support them, and our community appreciates the work that the library does as well. Strategic Planning Committee meetings are underway. A special thank you to teachers and staff who've been attending those. Some of those committee meetings, all of those committee meetings that are including teachers, they're doing it on their own time because it is summer. So I'm excited about the plan, and I look forward to presenting a first draft next month. We did hold our leadership retreat this week on Monday and Tuesday. District's blessed with a very fine group of administrators and directors, and we were able to work together. And Steve Johnson actually allowed us at Lodge Between the Lakes, he allowed us to use his space on Monday free of charge. So that was very nice for us to be able to get away from the building and get out there. So lots of student organizations are traveling, attending things around the state. Hopefully everyone's keeping up on Facebook. Ms. Crawford's doing a fantastic job keeping those updated as those photographs and things come in. So lots of cool things still going on at Mountain Home Public Schools.
All right, very good. We will break for executive session to discuss personnel.